Good afternoon, everybody. It is Sunday, August 3rd, and we are at the midpoint here of what we call the Lionsgate portal. And for those in the non-woo-woo land or non-spiritual land, all that means is that we focus on the divine feminine. We want to bring in more compassion, more love, and it's really wonderful out there to see that on different platforms, we are seeing a rise of compassion and service to others, where the men are standing up and saying, hey guys, we don't need to act like this anymore, and our women should feel safe, and definitely our children should be safe, so what the heck? So we've got a whole bunch of disclosure happening, right? Even though people think nothing's happening. Because what we're seeing in the media, what everybody calls the mainstream media or the MSM, is we're seeing programming. They're showing us what they want in order to keep us confused and enraged, but nowhere to put that energy. Because you guys, if we could really focus our energy and our rage in a purposeful way, not one of us would be worried about being homeless right now. Not one of us would be starving. Not one of us would be sitting in lack. All of the children would have what they need and the services provided to do so. But that's not how the system works. And so that's what the Great Awakening is that we are all seeing the illusion and the deception and the inversion. And one of the biggest inversions that we're going through right now is sexuality. So this conversation is for mature audiences only. I don't want to discount any active teenagers. That's the audience I think we need to start talking to about healthy sexual practices. Okay. So today, as a part of the Lionsgate portal opening, where we are talking about the divine feminine until August 12th and bringing in more love and compassion, more service and healing. And we're seeing so much degradation of the woman's sexuality out there, and to the point where now somebody at Disneyland thought he could get away with marrying a 9-year-old. And the most disturbing, not even the most, all of it's disturbing. You can't pick a more disturbing than part. She had 5-inch heels taped to her feet. Like, this is an energy. This is the devil, you guys. This is the devil. And we've got to call it out for what it is. The Luciferian system is to harm God at all costs, using his most beautiful creations. Us, the children, the innocents. Celebrity is gone. Nobody cares anymore. The music industry, if you're still supporting any kind of music that isn't trying to tell you what's going on, Taylor Swift, what are you guys doing? I can't believe that parents are still paying gobs of money to send their teenagers to these concerts, knowing full well that they're programming and that she has turned from her tears on her guitar to, holy crap, what is that, Satan demon woman? Beyonce. The whole conspiracy through P. Diddy now, and the exposure that happened through Ali Carter and through Jaguar Wright and Cat Williams. And yet here we still sit, and another child is being harmed right now, and another woman is being taken against her will right now. And now that the NHL has come out here in Canada, it's now tipped that scale. And I happen to know a bunch of survivor stories about Pierre Trudeau and the powers that be in Canada and where they do their thing in Quebec at a lake. Starts with an M. And it's the same thing as that Grove place in the States where the pieces of crap elites get together. We got to stop calling them elites. They're not elite. They're garbage. They're demons. They're not human. There's no way that they're human. There's no way that they're human. So let's change it up a little bit. The whole idea of this week is I'm going to be posting videos to help with the sacral chakra. And that is the area that sits right between our pelvic bone here and the belly button, okay, the bottom of the belly button. From here to here is a different zone, but right now we're right about here, okay? This area is where we hold all of the unexpressed emotions. This is where pain, grief, guilt, suffering, shame, all of it hold, because this is supposed to be the space where you have confidence and you feel good about yourself and you have the support that you need and you're always on board of your own life. But we are programmed generationally to suffer. And so in this world, the whole idea is to break our addiction to suffering. So how do we do that? Well, we read things like the Sophia Code by Kaya Roth, which reminds us of our feminine qualities. And this applies to men as well. Where is the love? Remember that song by Justin Timberlake and the Black Eyed Peas, Where's the Love? Okay. And children dying, people hurt and you see them crying, that thing. Like, I mean, we are the world. Why are there still starving children? Because the system is set up for that. Right? It's not about breaking free of the system. It's about realizing what it is and then providing the balance in between, because we can't exist without it comfortably. Many of us trying to be outside of it are just getting hammered with poverty issues, like attacked. There's no other way to say it, you guys, because there's no other excuse for it. And so we're going through this momentous moment, this moment in time where everybody's trying to be authentic to their soul because they know that something's wrong and they're being lied to. And now we're starting to question stuff, or completely turn away and just say, I'm not dealing with your drama anymore. And when I say your drama, I mean the system's drama, because it's always drama in the system. There's always going to be another war. There's always going to be a natural calamity. And you guys, when it comes to what's going on with the earthquakes right now, that is something that we are 600 plus years overdue for this, according to the Adam and Eve story by Chen Thomas. Okay. It was released and declassified by the CIA by President Trump, actually, when he was 45. And there were a page that was redacted, and then it was found and put back in. And it basically tells the story about all of the Earth resets where there has been a cataclysmic something, and whether that's a tilt, a shift, magnetic forces, something from outside comes into play and messes with the whole polarity and the balance, knocking it off kilter. Okay, it's like when you have a small magnet and then a stronger magnet. The stronger magnet is just going to pull. It's just going to, like, there's nothing the little magnet can do except go through it. Right? Yeah, I guess that's what we're going through, hey? We're all just got to go through it. There's nothing we can do because it's a bigger magnet than we are, okay? But the whole point is to be able to manage the pull of the energy, to manage how much you are affected while we are going through this massive polarity shift on all levels. The earth herself, human beings, the cosmic consciousness, excuse me, revealing what is happening all around us. And disclosure has been happening for 5 years, hardcore disclosure, with a whole lot of distraction, because they forgot. Their system has worked for so long blindly, because we just do it. We just pay our taxes. We don't question it. We bitch about it, but we don't do anything about it. We see the destruction of our governments when it doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or a liberal or a conservative or gay or straight or melanated or not. We are human beings. Why do we have to pay to exist? Number one. And number two, with everything available to us, why is there any suffering? Who said they get to be at the king of the hill? Well, they did, and they've just been doing it for so long that it's become repetitive. That is generational subliminal programming. And I have a perfect example of this that I just saw on Instagram. And it was a video about an 83-year-old comedian that went on America's Got Talent. And she had a super, super playful and fun way to talk about sex, okay, from her perspective. So I'm going to roll the video. We'll watch it together. And then I'm going to point out where we have been inverted in our sexuality that used to be healthy and used to be something that we craved and wanted one way or the other, whether it was with ourselves or other people. And somehow it's been hijacked, and I think I can prove it. So I finally found it. The lady's name is Lynn Ruth Miller, and unfortunately, she passed away a couple years ago at the age of 87. But when she retired, she decided to go for it. She always wanted to be in entertainment, and she did very well after her audition on America's Got Talent. But the reason I want y'all to listen to this is because she has a very wholesome way of explaining how her family used to talk about sex. And pay attention to the audience's reactions. And then we'll talk about it. Yeah.
Now, when I was growing up, my whole family used to eat dinner together. Would sit around the table, talk about what was going on in our lives, but there's one thing we never talked about, and that is sex. Instead, we talked a lot about shopping. So I'm going to tell you a shopping story. Now, when I was young, I used to go shopping all the time. Sometimes I went shopping 2-3 times a day.
Just when she did you see how long it took everybody to get to connect? This is very interesting. I'm not gonna pause it again, but that's what I mean is watch the audience reaction to her talking about this subject that apparently it can be talked about on all kinds of levels, but not in a wholesome way anymore.
I was a regular shopaholic.
There's 12-step programs for that.
I went shopping with friends. It's safe. It's comfortable. You've been to the
Friends
store
with benefits.
before. You know the merchandise is clean. I went shopping with co-workers. Sometimes I even went to bars when shopping with strangers. Bad idea. You never know what you're going to get. Well, you might get somebody who shops too fast.
I can't help it. Listen to the crowd, the reaction of that. And yet what we're seeing on mainstream media every day is perfectly acceptable. Music videos, movies, like horror movies. There are so many movies out there about people getting abducted and raped and trafficked and yet we can watch that with no emotion, and talking about something as healthy as normal sex makes people cringe. This is a problem.
And sometimes you get someone who can't even find the door to the store. I understand you young people. Sometimes you stay home, shop alone, using the internet. Now that I'm older, I would rather shop alone. I know what I'm looking for, and I know exactly where to find it. But I'm married, so sometimes I have to take my husband shopping. And I'm sure you all know, once a man finishes shopping, there was no keeping him in the store.
Right, true.
So if he goes home, I still have to finish shopping alone.
And then Simon goes on to act like he didn't understand what she was talking about and comes up with his own little zinger. But isn't that fascinating? And yet the era of comedy back when George Carlin was big, Billy Crystal, uh, Chris Rock was first coming out, and go before that, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Sam Kinison. We used to talk about sex in a very healthy way, and now it's cringy to those of us that are not involved in dubious sex energy, okay? But it seems like the inverted sex energy, the harmful sex energy is rampant, and yet nobody cares. You cannot convince me that that's not massive mind control or a spell, or we are just that disconnected because we are evolving and we deserve whatever comes next because we're so disconnected. that we deserve to be wiped out because we failed. When our women and children cannot walk down the street, men can't even walk down the street now. I'm seeing so many reports of just random violent attacks. Why? No accountability, with that gentle parenting crap, that now we have a bunch of disconnected kids out there in the workforce that are, I mean, just go look at it yourself, right? I'm not judging because I'm not working with the young folk. I'm just seeing what I see online from credible creators, right? So where did all this sexual energy get so messed up? Well, it was the 80s. In this quest for global transhumanism, the transgender confusion, the over masculination of women, where we have to become more masculine now because we are not safe out there. And we are now seeing the men coming out and saying, hey, whoa, we got to have our women and children safe. What's going on here, right? We have women that so badly want to return to their feminine, their nature, right? Nurturing self-care, that they're doing it. And that's why we're being single, because we are not going to have another man child that we have to emotionally support, look after, clean up after, whatever. It has gotten so skewed that the expectation not 30 years ago was the father went to work, provided a roof over the head and food in the fridge, and the mother went and dealt with all of the bills and paid the things and made sure that everything was operating. The kids had what they needed. The family had what they needed. Birthdays, like a secretary. So basically, women have been bred to be secretaries while the men go out and work. But the men have to come home and do the blue jobs, like take out the garbage, mow the lawn, do the physically taxing stuff because we're exhausted. When men go to a desk, yes, the job is mental, but you don't have to be on top of everything all the time from the time you sit down until the time you leave. Whereas a mother, you do. There's a big difference in having a work life and a career than being shackled at home to provide for a man that's just going to go and cheat on you once he decides that you're not pretty enough because you can't even think about being attractive because you're exhausted, right? I want to read a passage right now out of the Sophia Code by Kaya Ra, and not sponsored, not anything, but I do feel this is important. They know who I am, so it's okay. I mean, the Divine Sophia people know me. We've been in conversations over the last couple of years. But I want to say this to you because this comes from Mary Magdalene, okay? The wisdom of Mary Magdalene. And she is the one that is the keeper of the sacral chakra. She understands divine union as a partner to the Son of Man, right? Son of God. I don't know which one it is. Because if it's Son of Man, well, that's a problem. Son of God, okie dokie. Okay. But she is the one that spent the most time with him. She was the one that had to train to be able to properly emotionally support him. Because you guys, if Mary Magdalene and Jesus were in like normal human beings walking around, they would have been way too dysfunctional to finish their path. Okay. So let's get that out of our heads right now that they were just normal and she was some sort of prostitute. Absolutely not. Okay. Your body is perfectly designed to provide you with emotional biofeedback about how you are aligning with and following through on the divine guidance of your higher self within every present moment. Yet your body is often blamed as the creator of both your pain and pleasure. It is time to release your judgments and expectations placed upon your body's emotional communication system. The sensations of your emotions are not trying to control your awareness. They are simply informing you of what reality your thoughts and choices are creating in every present moment. I am going to read that one more time. It is time to release your judgments and expectations placed upon your body's emotional communication system. We're all in this healing thing because we are trying to not react from past experience, impressions, triggers. It's time to let go of all of that and get very present. Whatever happened to you in the past, you can get past. It's a choice. And I have treated people that have got horrible scars, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. But they make a choice to get through that pain and those impressions because somewhere deep down there, they still are deserving of their own life and their own existence without that being a shadow every single day. Because whoever harmed you, they're not going around thinking about you all the time. So why are we giving our energy and the rest of our life to that person that harmed us instead of worrying about the people that support us or supporting ourselves, right? So that's where a lot of the inversions come in, and that's how the skewing of the sexuality as well. Because when you are not sexual, you do not feel desirable, you don't feel like you belong, you don't feel like you can be powerful or have that swaggy energy, right? That confidence. So what's happening to our society? You're either completely debaucherous or you're a prude locked in your house. There is no in between anymore. And now people are being uncomfortable with perfectly healthy talk about sexuality and accepting the brutal stuff like that should be normal. Wake up. One more. Therefore, you are here to recognize there is a single free will choice that must be made every day for you to fulfill your destiny and live in peace. This single choice governs, directs, and guides all other daily choices. Therefore, the choice is the only one that matters. You have come to the great halls of your inner temple to decide once and for all that you are finished with the agony and suffering of believing that your body's emotional biofeedback and limited awareness is responsible for the outcome of your life. Your body does not govern your future. This is a vehicle, okay? When you got severely damaged, you were in an accident. You were in a spiritual accident, an emotional accident, maybe physical even. And now you've taken the car to the repair shop. Okay, your physical injuries are long gone. You got the dents and the scrapes, and maybe there's you can see where the paint's a little scuffed off or whatever, right? Right, like I'm getting it right here with my skin changing color, and I'm losing freckled areas, right? It's not painful or traumatic, but it's changes. Just to give it an example, sunspots, right? It's the engine that suffers, right? The engine suffers because for some reason we repaired the outside, but we forgot to put oil and windshield washer fluid and, you know, um, steering fluid and brake fluid and all that kind of stuff. We forgot to take care of the maintenance on the inside. So while the outside looks great, the inside still hasn't been looked after, and your engine is about to stall and run out, just like any engine would without proper lubrication or oil. Okay. The single free will choice has the power to inform the motivation and outcome of all of your life choices. Choosing to follow your higher self's guidance does not mean subjecting yourself to any judgment or qualifying standard of perfectionist behavior. Like, it's you. You don't have to apologize to a higher version of you. The higher version of you knows exactly what's happening and how you're stumbling. So stop looking at yourself as judgment. Isn't that what we're trying to do, is look at ourselves without judgment? So your higher self, if you take out all the middlemen and just say me, my higher self, that is the direct connection to source. You don't need to go anywhere else. Just straight on through. Just get there. But you're not going to apologize to your higher self. That'd be like apologizing to your teacher for learning. That doesn't make any sense. Your teacher's never going to punish you or judge you for learning, right? Repeating the same mistakes, going down the same path when you know damn well if you need a tutor, you should be asking for it, So, yeah, those very real human things that we would think we would get in trouble for, but releasing your shame and your guilt over things that happened to you, you didn't do it. Somebody that you trusted or that you should have been able to trust, or somebody that was in a higher amount of authority or age or maturity or should have known better. They're the ones that hurt you. Give it back to them. And if you just felt a little tug in your belly, that's quantum healing. Because I felt the pull. I know you're going to feel it because that's the truth. That's quantum energy healing. So for today, I think that that's a good place to end this portion of Lionsgate Week from August 3rd until August 12th. So about 9 days, where we're going to be talking about fixing the sacral chakra of the man and the woman. Because this is a space where you can come and sit with how you feel, but you're going to find out how you feel. And then once you address these unexpressed emotions, That's when we have spontaneous and miraculous healing. I'm walking proof, you guys. And I've been out there for 5 years on TikTok with spots of Facebook and spots of Instagram and, the effort or the want of YouTube for a long time. You can do it. You shouldn't live in a place where everything sucks all the time. Things are supposed to only suck every once in a while, but for the rest of the time, you should be living in peace and joy. And you can't do that if you can't even get present. So, individual quantum healing sessions, if you want to come and find out your truth and express your unexpressed emotions. Email me, thedivinesophia65@gmail.com. Everything's in the description below. And follow me on all the things over at The Happy Healer, especially my patreon.com, where I offer live sessions, classes, and all kinds of fun stuff. So let me know what you think in the comments, everybody. Celebrate you. Honor the places in you that need to be right now. Stop looking so far in the past to figure out why you're so messed up, because you're not as messed up as you like to think you are. Okay, it's a choice. So email me, thedivinesophia65@gmail.com. Let's get you going. Let's get you present without re-traumatizing you. And join my patreon.com /thehappyhealer for all kinds of classes and events. And eventually here on YouTube, I will be going live. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Go be dynamic. Go be amazing. You are a higher being having a human experience. Start acting like it. Bye.